Welcome to Jail Episode 2. JP, Andre, Ignacio, and Les. What's up, fellas? How was Christmas for you guys?
How's it going? It was fantastic. It was good.
What'd y'all do?
I went to the town and had like D-Town, Delano. I had like 80 members of the house. No mask, no nothing. No, we were masked up. We had a bottle of antibacterial at the front door. You couldn't get in unless you lapping up. But no, it was probably the best we could do with the given circumstances. Yeah, like it was.
Yeah. Saw y'all post. I was coming down here, but it was raining. I saw you tarped up and everything.
Oh yeah. It started raining on the way down there, so we stopped in Anaheim to get a tarp at Home Depot. And then some guys was standing outside. Hey, you need help with that? I'm like, nah, we're good. Ain't nothing free out here in Anaheim. But so we put it out there, took off on the road, and man, the whole way I was worried it was gonna fly off. My worst nightmare is like having a tarp driving, it flies off, covers somebody's window, and all of a sudden it's all those moves. Right. I made sure I strapped it down pretty tight. But no, it was fun. I mean, that was my first like long trip in the truck, and I really enjoyed it. But
yeah, we were just posted up here at the house. I mean, typically we go like to my mom's and everything, but we kind of like on a separation right now because obviously with COVID, I actually had a sibling that got COVID, so he's on isolation. So everyone just kind of posted up at their house, but it was cool for us because I was like, all right, we're gonna be home. We're gonna go old school then. Like we're gonna get up in the morning, have the gifts all up, make breakfast. The kids are all excited, and it was like. So that was cool, especially with little ones. I mean, they're at the age now where like they look forward to Christmas.
Yeah.
So like we set out like carrots for the reindeer and cookies for Santa. My daughter was like, "He can't come down the chimney." I'm like, "He gonna come to the front door. Leave him by the front door." But it was cool. Like it was cool to see their expression. Like so, we just stayed home. It was crazy. They had so many gifts and like they're super excited. And then kids get stuck on like one or two gifts, right? No lie, man. I took like 2/3 of them gifts and put them back in my trunk. I'm just driving around with gifts in my trunk because I'm like, we ain't opening all these toys. I'll tell my wife, we ain't opening all these toys. I'm going to bust them out again in January. They're going to be excited.
You know what I'm saying? Your birthday gifts.
Us too. We just sit here in Delano. I went to my parents' house and to my in-laws' house too. So we had to split some time with those days, in that day. And then for my in-laws, like one of my sister-in-law, came down with COVID too, so she wasn't part of Christmas. So yeah. And then we just had a good time and opened presents. Like Les said, my boys were just stuck on one gift. They were like. They wanted this Switch game, the Mario 3D something. So I was like, and they started playing it for a little bit and they had to take off. But they were just stuck on that game for a while now.
You didn't get him the PS5?
Nah, I got my Jordans instead of the PS5.
Oh, it's the same.
I would have got the Xbox better instead of PS5.
You tripping now?
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Bad move.
Actually, to be fair though, Xbox do got this Game Pass deal that I might even take a look at. It's like $10 a month. You can just get unlimited games, just play, but you stream it. There's no system. So to keep the kids busy, might not be a bad idea, Nacho.
Same here, man. We were just chilling at the house. It was probably one of the best Christmas I've ever had because we didn't do anything. We just pretty much slept in the living room, watched movies all weekend long. My boy got some pretty cool toys like laser guns and stuff like that. So we went outside, played laser guns and the remote cars and all that stuff. We didn't have to stress about like cooking or anything like that. We just lazied out, man. Just being lazy as much as possible. So that was That's
Like not a stress day, just like a easy kickback day, kind of.
easy chill with your kids type of day. Like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, Christmas is different now with kids.
Yeah,
Like you just trip out on their reaction. Kind of like it's,
Yeah.
it's crazy to see how they react when they see the gifts, like the smallest gift or like the biggest gift. It's just Christmas was totally different this year. Just they're really into Christmas. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, for whatever reason they're really into it.
Same here, man. Did you guys catch any games?
Of
Yeah,
course, the Clippers game. We saw the Clippers game, of course.
you talking about when they got blown out by Dallas?
Hey, we're talking about Christmas. We're talking about that right now.
Christmas Day.
So how do you get down by 50 points by halftime?
It happens. I mean,
If it was us, if it was our class of 2010, and we had 3 members against 5, we wouldn't be down by 50 at halftime. It was 3 of any team, we'd be down 50 at halftime.
Was everyone playing that game?
no, Kawhi was out because he got hit in the face.
Kawhi was out, dog.
He gonna score 50 by halftime?
Well, hey,
He was after that.
if he was there, they'll be down like by 20 instead of 50.
Yeah.
And I think Kawhi not being there was a good thing because when he come back, ain't nobody gonna complain about me being late to play. Last pay of my check, y'all lost about 50.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold the plane, brother. Kawhi's coming. Kawhi's
Right.
know your role.
So, I mean, I don't know. To get in Ty Lue's defense, he's trying to implement a new offense, right? But being blown out, that's just effort. You know, like I don't know, because when I talk about the Clippers, I always talk about Paul George. Even after that game, he was still making excuses, and it's like after all those excuses, he finally said, "Well, it's on me." I'm like, dude, prove me wrong when the playoffs come. That's all I'm asking. We know what you do regular season. You're great regular season, but when it comes to playoffs, prove me wrong. That's all everybody's saying about you. Like, give that choice.
Yeah, that's real talk. What do you guys think about the season so far? It's been like a week now. It was good to see LeBron win his last championship.
This day 2021, he's gonna be saying the same thing.
I'm gonna say that every episode. It was good to see LeBron win his last championship.
It's gonna be a long time. It's gonna be a long time saying that.
That just means he's watching the Laker games because I know those new Bull games are hard to watch.
Well, we all know Nacho watches Laker
What are you
games every
talking
day.
about? They're still alive. Everybody's still playing.
No, but I was like, Nacho, you can't name the starting 5 on the Bulls. Come on now.
Kobe
real
White, Markkinen,
Markin, that's
Carter, Levine, and who's the other dude?
Hey, why your eyes get bigger every time you gotta think of a player?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, you got the kids in the back on the line like, Daddy, go here, Daddy.
and the rookie Williams, he started.
William, yeah.
And you know what? You can say any name because I don't watch that. You could have said Garcia,
Right.
Jamal Wilkins, Scottie Pippen.
Right.
I would have been like, oh, cool.
Hey, don't sleep on the Bulls, man. They're gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
In the WNBA.
Yeah.
That will take out the Magic too, first round.
Hey, the Nets. I'll admit the Nets surprised me. Like Kyrie and KD, their chemistry is good. Like it works well with the type of players they are. Like Kyrie needs the ball all the time, but KD doesn't, and he still dropped 35, 40. So I mean, I think the Nets are gonna. It's between the Nets and Milwaukee in the East for sure.
And Milwaukee looked good today too.
Wait, who got the Nets played so far? We got Golden State. Right. They played Golden State.
Let me see.
Let's see.
And they play like Charlotte because
Charlotte and lost. They lost to Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, they're 2-2. But hey, give them time, man. Give them time.
Hey, they did blow out the Celtics. They blew out
Their squad is good though with DeAndre Jordan too on there. Like defensively. Well, the bad thing is that guy DeWindo got hurt. I think he's out for like.
Oh, Dinwiddie. Wait. DeAndre Jordan's playing now because I haven't seen him play yet.
He's been starting.
Yeah, he starts.
not better than Allen. But they just let him start up.
Right. As I thought it was Jared Allen was playing. That was starting.
Well, like Jordan starts, but then he don't come back into the game.
Hey, the Nets beat the Memphis Grizzlies by 5. Yeah, man, Nets ain't real yet. Not yet.
Give them time. They're gonna be real, man.
They look nice when they look pretty good against the Celtics. You know how they blew out the Celtics.
They did. Yeah, they blew out the Celtics.
Right. They just gotta remember these dudes watch the Bulls, man. They don't know yet. So they look good. Well, when you watch the Bulls, when you watch the JV team play, then the varsity come out, you like, well, the varsity pretty good. The varsity looking. Honestly, though, I think the Nets look decent. I actually do think they look decent, and they look deep. But in the playoffs, that's when that chemistry matters. Like Kyrie doing his thing and KD, but at the end of the day, they need to get a ball to KD. Everybody need to move out the way.
But they need a third scorer. I mean, that guy Levert or whatever his name is, he comes off the bench, but they need a third.
And was Dinwiddie seriously hurt, or was he like he'll be back, or what happened with Dinwiddie?
No, he's done. He's done for the year. He had a partial tear in his ACL. They said he's done for the year. So,
they need a third scorer.
Yeah. Well, that guy Levert or whatever his name is.
Yeah, they're saying Levert.
Caris Levert.
Yeah.
They're gonna be banking on him and that dude Harris or something like that. But
Man.
Joe Harris. They got a good squad, man.
It's kind of hard right now though, because watching the NBA, everybody's playing 10, 11 people, back in the day.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to use the science, for the long haul, trying to keep minutes down to 23, 25 minutes. You can
especially in the finals last season.
Yeah, so the Bulls can play 30 in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? But the strategy and it's a little different, at least coming out the gate. From the different teams.
Yeah.
So call it out right now. In the West, who's going to the finals?
Lakers.
Yeah, I mean Vegas said that a long time ago. Lakers gonna be.
I'm sorry. Top 2 West teams.
I say Lakers, and to me it's between Portland and Denver for that second spot.
Because Portland whooped on the Lakers last night, right?
No, Portland's just a good regular season team. They ain't good in the playoffs. They're just good at regular season team.
They shot the lights out too, so
that's what I'm saying.
Wait,
but
in the playoffs as well.
In the playoffs, when you isolate, I was watching CJ McCollum yesterday, right? I was watching what he does, how because he's always hitting good shots. But they do dribble, shot, shoot. And I was sitting there watching him, and I was watching LeBron just stand there and look at him, then you just block a shot. And I'm like,
they did the same thing last night.
That's what I'm talking about. I was watching the game last night.
I know they did the same thing to LeBron, chase down block.
CJ didn't play well. And I'm looking at the game that's not going to win any playoff series or championships. And that's why they got blown in the first round. And they were full squad last year in the playoffs.
Dre trying to say,
what's the name?
But Dre trying to say he's been to the promised land. He's been to a championship.
I've had the opportunity to watch many banners hang,
You know what works in the regular season, and what works in the playoffs. But
to be real, you do.
The Portland Trailblazers can beat anybody any given night. But they're saying, is that gonna work in a 6-game series? Because it's like James Harden. Let's look at James Harden.
Yep.
James Harden is 10 pounds overweight. They were clowning. Dude's still about a 40 piece. Leave that dude alone. He's a professional scorer, dude. The guy. And this is the NBA. He rolled out of bed and dropped to give you a 40 piece. I'm and that stuff works for James Harden, but in the playoffs, James. James is nah, I'm done. We need help. It's crazy.
That's why I say Denver or Portland, because
I'd rather have Denver go because they have a better chance of beating LA in 7 than Portland does.
Well, they both went out in 5, so whatever.
I still think it's going to be the 2 LA teams, in my opinion.
It could be. And I hope the Clippers make it to the Western Conference Finals against us. But they've never done that in their entire lifespan, so we'll see what happens.
I love bashing. I think Paul George is going to change his playoff
peak.
Paul George is going to come
playoff peak.
Fresno State Bulldogs.
Bro, I don't know what it is about that guy.
That's where he went, right?
Dude, hey, regular season, that dude is like, he's really good. Regular season, watching him play like past couple games against I watched him against obviously the Lakers, and I watched him against who they played recently?
The Mavericks.
Yeah, the Mavericks before they got started getting blown out. Like he can ball, isolation, pin down, like you said, isolation pin downs, but. Bro, come playoff time, like this dude he does not want the spotlight. That's probably why he didn't want to be a Laker. Because that spotlight is big.
I want to be no Laker.
Hey, I was watching this J.J.A.I.L got his own podcast.
Oh yeah.
And he had Brandon Ingram on there recently, like last week or a couple of days ago. And Brandon Ingram was talking about, the difference between being a Laker and being a Pelican. And he said although he was upset that he had to leave Los Angeles, he said that being a Laker, there's a lot off the court you got to do that ain't going to do with basketball. And he said that's the part he didn't like about it. So, like, Paul George ain't ready for that. Mentally, I mean, he had problems in the bubble. Like, LA ain't no bubble. You got some serious problems mentally. And I don't think, hey, be that Clipper. Be that dude.
I think, honestly, that's why Kawhi not signed that extension. Because I think Kawhi is that guy. Like, he been with Popovich, right? So he's been like where a system like where people are like playing intelligent basketball. Why seen that shot go upside the backboard? He was like, man, like this is not what we're about. And I think they were saying like Kawhi even like told like Lou and them like he want to run the triangle or something. Like they're trying to break this stuff for Kawhi because I think Kawhi's basketball, his knowledge is there, being with San Antonio, and PG just a little all over the place, man. Like. I mean, like I said, that stuff wouldn't fly with Popovich in San Antonio. He'd be like, nah. That's not how we're going to play. That's not how we're going to play. Yeah, so the Clippers got work to do. If they play the Lakers, I think the Lakers will take them out. Actually, I think Portland could take out the Clippers. But, it's all about health. It's all about being healthy and peaking at the right time. But I think when it comes down to that, that's LeBron's MO. Like, the guy knows how to make sure his team and his body is ready. Right. Obviously, except that 1 year he got hurt in LA. But other than that, you can see like he took Deladova with the finals. Like this dude can figure out other teams. Like I was watching Gilbert Arenas on Shannon Sharp's podcast. He's like, LeBron's greatest gift is that guy is mentally like 3 steps ahead of everybody. Like he can tell you that you line up in the wrong place and you're on the other team. Like he calls out plays and those things. So I think the Lakers having that, I mean, it makes Frank's job as a head coach. It makes him look great. He might gonna get contract.
He ain't a good coach. You guys talking about Steve Kerr ain't a good coach. He ain't a good coach either.
Hey, Steve Kerr is trash.
Yeah,
Steve Kerr is trash. I can't stand that dude.
If you're gonna come after my boy Frank, then what you gonna do about Tyronn Lue? Because who paid him?
But LeBron's not there, so he's not there to punk Lou anymore. Lou could run his own thing.
Yeah.
How did I get him or Kyrie? They call for LeBron.
What about the East? Who you think? Nacho, we Bulls fans, man. Who do you think is coming out of the East? I know you watch the East, because I watch the East.
Yeah, right. Today the Bucks look pretty good. They blew out the Heat by like 40.
Yeah.
Giannis only scored 9. He didn't even play the fourth quarter. So, and then I think Boston will come out of the East too.
You think so?
I mean, they're like a sleeper. Yeah.
Have you been checking the standings, Nacho? Have you noticed any other teams undefeated in the East?
Nah, I just like been. Not lately. I just watching all the games and stuff.
Watch the Magic, Nacho. You better watch the Orlando Magic.
Orlando's 4-0, man.
And we've been in the playoffs last 2 years.
They playing the JV teams of the G League or what? They playing G League team?
I think they played Washington 3 times, so Washington's 0-4.
He said 3 times.
They played Washington 3 times and Detroit once.
And so what's weird? What's wild when you got Orlando at the top number 1 seed right now.
Number
Pelicans
1
in the West.
Screenshot it.
Hey, Pelicans in the West, and you got the Bucks in the 9th seed, and you got the Lakers in the 9th seed.
It's crazy.
No, the Clippers are first now. Pelicans just lost, so they're 2-2.
Yeah.
Also, the Pelicans just fell out of the playoffs.
But now you got to remember it's the top 10 teams.
Oh wait, the Suns won too, so the Suns would be top seed.
No, the Suns just beat the Pelicans.
All right, you got cut off there a little bit. All right, what were y'all talking about? How it was nice to see LeBron win his last championship.
Let's talk about Steve Kerr and how trash he is as a coach. No, I wanted to actually ask about that, like Steve Kerr having a dream team for a while, winning championships. Luke Walton steps in while he had back surgery, goes 33-1, I think it was, and then both of them end up with a regular team, and they both suck.
Well, that team was Mark Jackson built it first before he even got there. So, like,
I agree.
I mean, he should get most of the credit for that.
But at what point is it like, okay, I got a coach, you know what I mean? And like, you got to hold his feet to the fire as a coach.
True.
You still got Steph. You still got Draymond. I understand Clay's hurt. You got a lot of turnover because people left for whatever reason. But that's where your job comes into effect, where you got like a period of winning some games. Last year, they won 15 games. Yeah, Steph Curry went out midseason. This year, they're 2-2. We'll talk about that later.
Same record as the Lakers.
First week, they're 2-2. We'll talk about that later. But they got blown out. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just. I think you got to coach. I think at a certain point where it's like, hey, you got to give us more than 15 games. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like LeBron's on team when he left and the teams won 18 games, something like that. Yeah, even that team won 18 games or 21 or something like that. You can't give me more than 15. Like, I don't understand that.
Well, I mean, look, Steph Curry may be MVP, but like he doesn't make other players better, right? Like, he's not that type of guy. He'll drop 30, but I think he can't. And there's no chemistry on that team, so it's hard to win if you don't have the right pieces. I mean, Wiggins is cool and all, but
Yeah.
He ain't got no drive, if you ask me.
yeah.
He's kind of like he's a bust right now so far. I mean, they've been shipping him everywhere.
I mean,
But I think to Dre's point, like if you look at the Warriors roster, there's talent. I think like he's out obviously. I don't know if Draymond's back yet, but I know he wasn't there in the beginning. But they got Wiseman, and he actually looks like he looks athletic. Like he obviously number 2 pick. That's obviously the choice that the coach made, right? Like that's who we want. But I think what Kerr's doing is like, and obviously I'm just calling it from the sideline, but he's running the same system. Like he hasn't made any changes, so there's no point guard. There's no longer 2 shooters. So if Clay was out there, I think it would look night and day because there's 2 shooters out there. But I mean, he got that guy from like Phoenix. What's his name? Kelly Oubre. Like he just made the first 3 like after the 4th game. Like dude, like 0 for 7. Wiggins out there shooting threes and 0 for 6. Like
yeah, exactly.
I remember back in high school, you went 0 for 3. They're like, hey, dog, you need to chill.
Yeah, he's trying to run that same offense.
So I'm like, he's running the same thing instead of saying like, okay, like Clay's not coming through that door.
Yeah.
If you're still trying to run pin downs for Steph, there's only one dude. We're gonna run him, chase him, and make these other guys shoot threes. Like they can take one guy out the game. You know what I mean?
Wiseman right now, he's averaging 18.5 through 4 games.
Really?
Yeah, he's a top scoring rookie right now. He's averaging 18.
Yeah, like I said, he's actually good. Like,
is he starting or is he coming off the bench?
no, he starts.
Starts because in one game I saw he didn't start though.
They're saying that he must show a lot in practice because they're saying that like he didn't play nothing in the preseason or nothing. And he played like 2 games in college with Penny Hardaway, like in Memphis. He got busted. So, but they say he's a freak. Like he's athletic. He can run. Like today, I seen him. He like blocked the shot, got the ball, dribbled down court, did a euro, and like dunked it. Like he's
Yeah.
But I think Curry's just running the same thing. I was gonna send him some notes for some passing game or something. He needs to change it. You're running this backdoor cut.
It's funny how they kind of started the whole small ball thing, and now they can't do it anymore. Like now it seems like they need to run their offense inside first,
Yeah.
You know, because Kirk only do so much, man. He can't shoot over everybody. I mean, he's a good shooter, but damn, if you have a 7-footer or a 6'9" dude on you, like, he can't shoot over him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, yeah, I mean, small ball works when you have 4 Hall of Famers, and then, but when you have 4 Hall of Famers, you're in a sport that requires the tallest athletes in the world.
that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you're right.
You might need a new system.
Yeah, like, they can't do that small ball no more. Like, they have to run it through. He has to change it up, like you said. Like, they gotta start inside out now instead of outside, and every once in a while go inside.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But it's kind of strange how we thought, I'm a LeBron fan, you know, but we thought like, you know, KD going there was a weak move, which we still think is a weak move, but it kind of showed they kind of needed KD. Like, I think this Warriors run may have been over if KD never showed up. Like, these guys might have been done already. Like, I mean, the run of just them winning like easily, like, you know, year in, year out, them coming out the West for sure. They're still going to be the contender once they get healthy, but I think that run of just being the Warriors, I think that's over.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're. Would you guys? So you guys consider them as a dynasty? Because they were good for how long?
How many did they get? They got 3 or 2?
They got 2.
No, they got 3.
They got 3. I thought they got 2.
Well, Steph had 3 rings.
Because KD won 2 with them, and they won 1 without KD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Then they are both 3 then.
So they
got,
but
they
went to the finals, what, 5 years straight? 4 years straight?
Yeah. And obviously they lost 1 league. That was the one to the Cavs, right?
Yeah. And who was the other one to?
To Toronto. Kawhi beat them when they got hurt.
Oh yeah, KD on them got hurt. That's right.
KD and Clay. Remember, Clay was like, he got hurt like in the third quarter on that dunk.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
ACL.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I think
dynasty or no? I say.
Yeah, you give it to him.
If it would have been 3 in a row, I'd have gave it to him.
But it was 3 out of 4, right? Then
You don't call the Spurs. You call the Spurs a dynasty. They ain't never gone back to back.
But they just did it in such a long time period.
Yeah, it was just like a decade where it was like them or the Lakers.
Yeah. I don't know about Lakers, but yeah, like them, they're always they're always there for a long period of time.
Hey, look at the facts. Every millennium, the Lakers won champions. Every decade, Lakers won championship. If you look at 2000, 2010, 2020.
I think I hit a nerve.
We good. 2000, 2010, 2020, we good. 1980, 1990, you gotta slip up.
I'll give it to the Warriors. I will call them a dynasty, but I mean they're not like top 3 though. Like maybe top. Yeah. I mean you got Lakers, Celtics, Bulls in the 90s. I don't know, maybe top 4.
Yeah. I think I'm not gonna hate on them. I think they were like, I'll give them a dynasty, and obviously with that KD on their team and fully healthy, that starting 5. I mean, not the best starting 5 ever, even though they had like the greatest record, but then they lost 3-1 to the Cavs. But I mean, they're up there, you know, because with KD, Clay, and Steph, I mean, they are hard. Then Steve Kerr looked like a genius. You know,
Lou Wall looked like a genius.
Yeah, you got those 3 people on the court. I mean, like that's lights out, man. That's lights out.
All right, let's talk about California real quick. I know you guys had something to say about that. What's going on with California, man? What's up with your boy? What's up with your boy over there? I'm not from. I'm from Cali, but you guys living there. The whole thing going on over there with COVID and the governor.
All right, for those that don't know, if you're watching, you made it to this point. The governor did a lockdown. Pretty much California's been on lockdown the whole time, pretty much, if you ask me. Back and forth. We were out for 5 minutes, and then we came back inside. And right now, we're the hot spot of the entire country. And it's frustrating because they keep trying these lockdowns that never work. So now people are at a point where nobody cares anymore, right? So like, I live in Orange County. It's 3.5 million people here. obviously we got hundreds of people thought they were crazy in the beginning when they were protesting. And then you got like, it started spreading. You got like, now I work in Santa Ana, and in my office, nobody wears masks. We're socially distanced, but nobody's wearing masks. People are just, they're just tired of it. So now we're the hotspot of the country. And you got places like Florida that are just wide open. And we're still the hotspot of the country. And so let that sink in. Like, we were locked down and we're the hotspot. Florida's wide open. Like, we got friends at Disney World. Like, Florida's open and they're not the hotspot. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they got like, 29 million people? And we got 40. So, I mean, something's not working. Something has to happen, right? So the recall level for this guy just hit the threshold that it needed to hit to have a special election. And that's where we're at now. That's what we mean by what's going on in California.
So are you guys trying to get rid of him? Or
there's a petition going on for a while, and you had to hit 60% of a certain amount of signatures, and that threshold happened today. And the deadline is not till I think March or April.
How many more years does he have in office? I'm just curious. I don't know.
Oh, this is barely the second year. I think it's a 7-year term, is it? What is governor's? I think governor's 7-year term. Let me check.
I don't know, to be honest. Unless it's a history buff, he should know.
Oh, you one of them dudes, huh? You went to history? Yeah, you went to college? You went to college? You should know.
You got a degree in history? What's been going on in the past, Les?
Yeah, my degree says you gotta look that up in a book.
It's 4 years, limited 2 terms.
Oh, okay.
It's like the president.
I think, Dre is right. I mean, Cali right now is obviously a hot spot with the COVID. And I mean, personally, I thought the governor was doing good in the beginning.
A lot of people did. I did too.
Like, he's ahead of it, politics aside, he's on top of it. We're doing okay. But I think over time, people just, I was kind of talking to my wife about that, like just working with people and like organizations and running the state, obviously you got to continue to build trust with people. And I don't think people trust what they say, or the information that's being pushed out. It's always like a moving target. I think you're trying to get people to just say, well, I'm just going to do me. Holidays, we've been locked down. And me personally, I still, I'm away from my family and so forth. But I know a lot of people are like, man, I've been locked down since March. Like my family is Christmas, and so I get that. But I think that there's a lack of trust, like not information is being shared appropriately. For me, the biggest thing is like, I don't even own a restaurant, but I kind of feel bad for restaurants or people losing their businesses and livelihoods. So I think like, I'll tell my wife, like, you're going to put me in a position where don't open my restaurant and don't make a living, which will impact my family. But I'm not getting no relief. I'm not getting anything, so like you put them in a position where they gonna have to open. And that's why you see a lot of sheriffs and coming out saying they're not going to enforce it. They're going to allow people to open and do their thing. So it's just weird times, man. And just, I think the president-elect came out today and said that, worst days are still ahead of us. Like, it's not going to, there's no light. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. Like, we're still going through it, man. And I think it's going to be like, it's a trust issue. And obviously, if you look at the playbook, I think we played it out wrong. Like, we were doing good in the beginning. But I think we should have just told, for business sake, like, hey, like y'all can operate, but you're going to operate at 50% of capacity and keep your mask on a social distance. I think kind of listen. Like I was my wife, like, there's a reason why weed's illegal. Like you can't control it. You can't make it a rule. So, like you try to work with people like, okay, well, this is what you can do. The speed limit on the freeway increases because people keep driving faster. So they're trying to work with people, but they're like, no, everyone has to go 55. Like, and he's going 70. Like, I'm not going to go 55. You letting him go 70. So I think the trust is lost, and obviously that falls on the governor. They're going to look at the governor. And so, obviously I still wear a mask personally when I go out and try to keep my social distancing, but it's hard to see those companies. And I know everybody probably seen that video, that lady in LA, she had like shut down her business.
Yeah.
Like,
the movie industry right across from her was open.
Yeah. So it's like, you know what I mean? So
it also doesn't help though when the governor's getting caught at a restaurant, high-end restaurant with 22 people, no social distance, no mask. It's mind-boggling. Even like I would think somebody, I want to say the LA district attorney, something like that. It's caught doing the same thing.
But did the governor too get caught for a birthday party or something too? Like that it was a mask or something like that.
Like a Napa or something. He was at a birthday party.
He was at a birthday party or something like that too. No mask, no social distancing.
Right.
Something like that.
So then when those officials do those type of things, they're gonna get looked at. It's like your boss shows up to work late, but he works late every day. You're like, "Ooh, you're late." You're like, "Bro, he works 12-hour days, but he's late." He's 5 minutes late. Like you have to model that thing, and obviously that's unfortunately lives are being lost, and there's a lot of different things going on with that. But a lot of jobs, and I know everybody looking for check my account tonight for my 2 Gs. Hopefully that hits the. Get my money.
I've been hearing
my money.
Nacho, what's up with Delano, man? Like,
well, it's pretty much quiet. Like I see people still like following. I mean, there's still a point where people don't care either. I've been hearing like Mexican music, people partying here and there, and like. And then at Walmart too, they still wear their mask, social distance and stuff. But it seems like people are still going out more versus like before. It used to be just quiet. But like me too, like I go visit my parents here and there, and then come home, and like I stopped watching the news too because sometimes the only
Wi-Fi went down. Now, what were you saying, Nacho, about Delano? And I'm curious about the restaurants. What closed down over there?
Over here, the restaurants are pretty much closed, but they're still open on the outside, like to dine in, to dine out. They don't dine in anymore. So like it's just people just drive through or call it in and pick it up, or DoorDash, like
Perco's Pills. You just got
well, they're not called Perco's no more, they're called Generals now.
What?
Generals, it's called Generals now, it's not Perco's no more.
Is it owned by the same person?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But they changed the name. So, but yeah, mostly a lot is just takeout. Like nobody eats in or anything like that. So
you can't, right? Like you can't.
No, you can't. Pick up only. Yeah, pick up only. Yeah. All the all the fast food chains are here in Delano, like big old long drive-through lane lines that are forever. So yeah, and I mean people here still follow the rules. I don't see a lot of them with masks and stuff, but I see 1 or 2 people with no mask. I'm like, oh damn, like. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything, not my business. I just look at them and I just walk away. I was like,
you gotta speak up, Nacho. You can't let people walk around with no mask. You gotta speak up.
Hey, it's crazy. It's crazy. You live in a world.
I ain't gonna be
Nacho, excuse me. You don't have a mask on. Excuse me.
Hey, it's crazy when you live in a world where people walk around normally. And you look at them like they're suspects.
Yeah.
Hey, you got no mask.
That's crazy how like, a year ago you see someone with a mask and you scared of them. Like, is this person going to rob you? Now, now, if you don't have a mask, you look at him like, what's wrong with this dude? How come he don't have a mask?
Like I remember obviously like with my mom. My mom was a cancer survivor. And obviously when she was going through her chemo, she had to wear a mask. I remember like being out with her, like actually wear a mask. And like she had to wear a mask because she couldn't get sick, but everybody was walking away from us like because they thought she was sick. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you see everybody wearing a mask, so it's like how times have changed. Like
total role reversal, like a role reversal from everything.
Yeah, like, my mom had a mask on, we looked that weird. Now you see everybody with a mask. You don't have a mask. Like, hey, what's wrong with that
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's out here in Bakersfield, it's a little different though, man. They got tents outside. But I think they just props, like they inside in the restaurant.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, so like the tent's open, the tent's outside, no one's in the tent, bunch of cars, everybody's inside.
I saw, I don't know where it was at, but because they closed down the gyms. So I saw a gym take all their equipment out and put it in the parking lot. So people working out in the parking lot. I don't know where it was at. Where was it at? Was that in Cali? Or
it's somewhere in Cali, yeah. It's in Cali.
The In Shape gym, they put all their stuff outside so they can collect your membership. I had to cancel that.
Hey, who's the poor dude that has to take all that out though and put it back in?
Man, right? I don't want that night shift.
You know what I'm saying? Oh man,
I didn't get that rule either though, like because you got tents, right? So you got to eat outside to eat inside of a tent. Like, and I hear they got them all walled up for to stop the wind.
And I thought they don't want to be dining inside. You're technically,
yeah, you're still inside, right? Like
no ventilation, nothing.
Right. Like sometimes they have one side open, but that's just the same as having the windows open. It's like, it's mind-boggling to me. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think that was the part like they failed because like the rules just kept changing and like I mean everyone has their opinion, but I just said like they should have just cut capacity like 50% and tell everybody to keep doing their business. And I think everybody would have listened. Like everybody would have been like, all right, cool, there's not as many people here, but you still gotta wear your mask and we can still open and operate. But once people lose trust in you, I was telling my wife about this that day. I'm like, you lost control. Like I work at a school. If all the kids just walk out, I'm just gonna open the gate. Like I lost control. Like I gotta, you have to work with people. You have to like try to work with rules and then have rules that you can enforce. But if you can't enforce it, then don't tell no one it's a rule. Like you know what I mean?
It's like that with everything. I read a it was like a stat that it's like people outnumber. I'm not sure it was California, if it was the United States. People outnumber anybody in government and law enforcement 5,001. You're not controlling everybody. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna do it. You just got to figure out a way to work with them, like you said. And the way they did it here, where they were trying to like mandate masks, like shutdowns, stuff like that, trying to make the law enforcement people, like you said, sheriffs not opting to not enforce it. Like you can't. It's not possible. You're not going to control 40 million people in one state. Like,
But I think people naturally, I'm not like the old Batman with Depot, like still looking for a few good people out there in Gotham. But I think people really do care for each other's health, like obviously and well-being. But you put their livelihood up against them with like no finances, no job, no work. Like, turn people against the system a little bit, but could have been handled better for sure.
No, yeah, domestic violence shot up, suicide shot up throughout this lockdown period. Like it got real, like it got pretty heavy for a while.
You guys should just open up like the way how Hawaii does it, or even Vegas. Like they open up the restaurants, like you said, the capacity they had to limit it, but you have to wear a mask. When you sit down, you can take off the mask. Right, but even if you have to use a restroom or go just get out of your table, you got to wear a mask. And I thought that was pretty cool because business still opened up. You still have kind of like that somewhat of a feeling of a norm. You know what I'm saying? So like violence went down because when the state was closed here, like everything went up, all the violence, like burglaries, theft, all this stuff, right? So now it went down ever since the state opened up again, and Hawaii is still kind of struggling because people are not traveling here, but at least the business is back up and open. You just got to wear a mask. So
it was like that in Arizona too. When we went to Arizona, they had the glass between each seat. As far as like a booth, it was a booth restaurant you sat at, and if you sat down, you could take off your mask and eat because you had the glass between the different areas. And then you also had, like you said, if you get up for any reason, you got to put your mask back on.
Yeah,
but it allowed businesses to function. People weren't committing suicide or getting violent. And, people were actually able to, like you said, sustain some type of normalcy or normal life. But here, they shut that stuff down. It was crazy.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be like, a new norm. That's what I honestly thought. I was like, okay, like things have changed. COVID's here. We're still going to operate, but we're going to operate under a new norm. Nah, they just shut everything down. It's like, no. People are like, no, we're just gonna go back to the way we live. I'm like, there's no new norm. Like, you gotta, I guess a good thing is though, like the people that don't wear masks, they still keep their distance. Obviously, people follow good hygiene. You don't see too many confrontations. Like I'm in Home Depot, like I see some people without a mask, even though it says you have to. You don't see people confronting. I do see, like when I'm out, I still get a lot of people like I don't know why. I just get a lot of people to ask me that question. Like, hey, what's up, man? What you think with everything that's going on? I'm like, hey, don't get close. People always want to talk, and like, I think there's a lot of still good people out there. There's like, like we just got to go back to the basics, man. Like, show empathy for people. If you're sick, stay home, don't come out. You know what I mean? And always wash our hands. Maybe we should always keep a little distance between each other, right? Like, people should be aware of that socially. Like, hey, don't run up on me. Like, hey, kind of stand back kind of thing.
Perfect.
So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, it's almost an hour, man. Let's cut this. Let's go to our homie review real quick before we cut this show up. So, I know y'all are watching movies during Christmas.
The moment we've all been waiting for. You made this part. Drop a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, drop a comment what movies and shows you guys are watching.
Reviews. What you guys watch?
Make sure the good movies, Nacho. My mom's watching.
All right.
Hey, why don't we pick like a movie we all watch and then talk about it for a second? Like, should we do that first, or should we like just jump out and just put something out?
I just talk about the movies we watched. Wonder Woman.
All right, we got to start with Wonder Woman. Okay.
I didn't watch it, so I got Dre's review, so I'm not gonna watch it. I ain't gonna waste my time on it.
Oh no, please watch it.
Oh yeah, you need to watch it.
Be angry with the rest of us. No, I watched it, and like, I'm a huge Wonder Woman fan. I love all DC and Marvel. I don't care. Mm-hmm. And the first one was great. Like, it was, I raved about it. It was awesome. This one, I was disappointed. I felt heartbroken out of the mouth. It's like when the credits are rolling, you're just sitting there like, you're just like I was like trying to like the movie. I just couldn't get with it, and so, I gave it a little review. I gave it a 1.5 out of 5 in the homie review section. What did you guys think?
I gave it a 2 just because it's homegirl. My wife loves her. She's. I mean, if they didn't have her,
let me throw that in there.
I put that in there because I know she's gonna watch it. But my wife, she loves her. So, I mean, it was. I mean, it was cool to watch. I think the expectation was just too high, and it didn't come near to it. But I gave it like a 2 out of 5.
I haven't watched it. I'm with Nacho. I haven't watched it, but at least all the comments I hear is just it lacks action. Like,
yes, that's the main thing.
They're like, dude, it's just like there's no action. Like, I'm waiting for action. It never got there. I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's over like the first couple minutes. Like, when you're watching it, and I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but like compared to part 1 where there's action all throughout, like, you're waiting on a boss fight, and you feel like you're less feeling like the boss fight never happened. And for those who know what the boss fight is, when the main character fights the boss. You feel like it never happened. You're like, wait, what?
Well, let's jump into a kids movie, Crudes. Did you guys watch Crudes?
Nah, I haven't watched it.
I watched it.
What do you guys think?
Just watched like an hour ago.
So your mind is fresh. What did you think?
I'm about to say, yeah, you're fresh off the press.
First of all, I didn't know the movies went up to 1999 for 2 days. Like, hold up. I'm like, we bought this movie for what? $20. How long we got? We got it for 2 days. I'm like, 2 days? Let me know that I got that movie for free. Another way. Don't be giving them people our money. But hey, my kids loved it. Like, we actually watched part 1 yesterday because we hadn't even watched part 1. I guess it came out like in 2013. And so my youngest, she's like 1, so she doesn't get it at all. She walked away. But my 3-year-old and my 5-year-old, they loved it. And we watched part 2 today. And dude, it was good. The homie review, like kid movies, I give it 4 or 5. Like, it was up there. It was like the greatest movie ever. But it has enough action. Kids are entertained. They don't ask me questions. They have popcorn, got a juice, and for an hour 45 minutes, they were like locked in.
I agree, 100%. I give it the same for a child movie. Yeah. It wasn't like no Lion King like that when that first came out and stuff, but it was It was action all throughout. There was some comedy parts in it that was pretty good. All the comedy landed to me.
Yeah.
Without giving any spoilers, but think about it right now, the comedy landed, had my kids rolling, had me laughing with them.
Yeah.
It was good. It was one of those movies where you could watch it with the kids and not be bored and fall asleep. A lot of times I'd be struggling to watch movies with my kids. I'd be like, like that was had me entertained while I was watching with them.
Same here for a kids movie. I mean, usually part two, part one, when part one's good, you're kind of like, how are they going to mess this up with part two, like they did with Wonder Woman. But part two was actually almost as good as part one, so there was like no disappointment. Like it was funny, the characters in there. Nacho, what did you watch? Did you watch anything?
Nah, just been busy with the boys that are playing their video games and stuff, so they're on that stuff. But we'll try to catch it sooner or later.
You've been working on that girl, huh?
Nah, that's not it right there. No, but I watched the Long Shot. Remember the one I told you guys about? This guy was wrongfully accused of murder while he was at a
documentary. Yeah,
documentary. So it's pretty cool to check out and stuff. So. I mean, it's just a trip though. Like, dang, like how he got like let off and stuff like that off that murder, because there was like a drive-by, and then he said about a Hispanic dude, like a mustache, bald, light complected, and then it's just a bunch of like little conspiracies behind it too. How he went and got him. So I mean, it's pretty cool to check out.
It's only like 45 minutes long.
Yeah, so it's not that long, so I mean it's quick.
Well, that's
and
good.
Yeah, you don't have to sit there for an hour or anything like that. It's just 40 minutes. And then, what's up?
Have you guys seen? Cause you talking about J.A.I.L, that show? It's called 60 Days In on Netflix.
Oh, I seen the thumbnail of it. I didn't watch it.
I haven't seen it.
Check it. I guess there's several seasons. We only watched the latest season, but the show is they're trying to improve the jail system. So they send these undercover people, real people, into jail, and they each have a job. Like one has to find out how drugs get in. One has to find out like they have to evaluate the guards and see how they do things. And it's pretty cool because they send. Like the characters for this season, haven't seen the other season, but they actually sent a cop in. They sent a cop. They sent a dude in that was in jail for 14 years. So he's all about that life. He knows what's up. They send a CO in there, and they send like 4 girls too. And it's pretty cool. Like just because I ain't trying to go to jail, and I don't know how jail is, but to see the inside
perspective,
that perspective, everything like. It makes me not want to go to jail even more. I'm like, nah, I couldn't survive. I'm cool.
Yeah.
So it's like a TV show, or it's like an actual a documentary. Like they going undercover.
No, it's like a documentary.
Oh, okay.
But like I don't want to mess it up here. Like the prisoners know there's TVs around. But they don't know that there's undercover people in there. The prisoners get interviewed too, but I think they just think they're just being interviewed because of what's going on in that prison. But you should watch the show. It's pretty exciting.
Okay, I'll check it out. Sure. I watched that Long Shot one, like Nacho. I think I watched it a while back, but it's pretty good. It's short, but it keeps you entertained. It has a little twist at the end, but it's a good movie. We also watch, man, like I said, I got 3 kids under 5, so all we watch is like on my Netflix, we go to the kids side real quick. So I'm like, nah, they got their own profile and everything. Like, but we watch. I'm not really big into like musical, like the Sound of Music. I don't know, but we watched the Jingle Jangle, and that was pretty cool. Like I like. It is a musical, so if you're not in musicals, you're probably not gonna like it. But the musicals, the songs were a little bit upbeat. It got some pretty good. Forrest Whitaker's in it. It had like some. So I was like, oh, okay, he was in there, but it was cool. Like our kids, my kids love music, love the dance. So that's another one I'll give 4 out of 5. Jingle Jangle. It was it was pretty good. It had a little like moral in it, story like the old Family Matter shows. Always have a little lesson at the end.
Hey,
You
the
should
new
not
kids don't know nothing about that, man.
Them old shows. You're like, okay, I learned. Hey,
Only the 90s kids know about
But yeah, Jingle Jangle. I don't know if you guys have watched that one. It was cool. It's a musical. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
And have you guys watched Cobra Kai, the other season? Because it's coming up soon too.
Yeah, January 1st.
I gotta admit, man, I was stuck on that first with my son, but then after I watched both seasons, I had to show my son all 3 Karate Kids so he understands the background and everything.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, who are these people? I was like, all right, you gotta watch 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Did you teach him the wax on, wax off, or what?
Yeah, he's over there trying to always do some karate stuff. But yeah, January 1st, I'm waiting on that one.
Yeah. Binge it all night probably on that day.
Oh, we'll finish it in the weekend.
Yeah.
But all right, fellas, it's been like an hour. Anything else you guys want to add?
I hope you guys touched everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, if you guys made it this far, we appreciate you guys watching. Subscribe, let everyone know there's new episodes out.
Hit that like button.
Hit that like button, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Next time we be on, it'll be the old cliche. See you next year.
Y'all have a good New Year. See you guys next year.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right.
All right, take